breaks down.
So do you think there's a difference between Black
Oh,
Americans,
absolutely,
Jamaican, Black
absolutely. I mean, like
What's the difference?
you're a product of your environment. So, some people might say African women are more submissive. Some women might say Jamaican women are more aggressive. You know, so it all depends on um, your upbringing or your environment.
So baby, when you ready, hit my line. Tell me what you wanna do. I know you still feeling you.
Hi TJ, welcome to my channel.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good.
Yeah, so do you want to tell everybody about you and where you're from and what you do?
Sure. My name is TJ from Nigeria. I live in Atlanta. I'm in IT.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, TJ, let's get started because I invited you to my channel because I wanted to have a discussion about like Black women because Black women get, we get a bad rep. We get that we have bad attitudes. We're not submissive. We wear a weave and we're ridiculed for that. So, what do you think?
About Black women,
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with Black women. Honestly, I think you're just fine. Honestly,
What do you think about all these stereotypes?
no, it really depends on. You asked me a few minutes ago, what's an ideal woman? But I don't think um, that's not a really, that's not a good question. A better question would be, what's your ideal woman, rather than what's an ideal woman? Because it's like saying what's the best color, or what's the best food, or what's the best vacation destination. Because it is what makes it ideal is its value to you. So if like I don't think Trump and I have the same idea when we say an ideal woman. I don't think myself and my brother have the same idea when we talk of an ideal woman. So it's all a very subjective perception.
Okay.
So like I've dated Black women and I find them great. I've dated Nigerians. I find them great. They're, I can't pick out one person and say, oh, because I dated say a Gambian woman, so Gambian women are, maybe selfish. That'd be a ridiculous statement to make, right?
Hmm. But as far as like the stereotypes that Black women get, I mean, do you believe that? Like
Yeah, I
that?
mean, there's some stereotypes. It could be, um, I mean, um,
So it just depends. You're saying it just depends on the woman, right? Not necessarily.
right. It depends on the woman,
Yeah.
but there's some stereotypes that do occur more frequently than say in other races. For example, I'm trying to find one that's maybe common amongst Black women. And then when you say Black, you're talking Black African American, or Black African, or Black Jamaican, or Black because it all kind of breaks down.
So do you think there's a difference between Black
Oh,
Americans,
absolutely,
Jamaican, Black?
absolutely. I mean, like
What's the difference?
you're a product of your environment. So some people might say African women are more submissive. Some women might say Jamaican women are more aggressive. You know, so it all depends on um, your upbringing or your environment.
Okay. Okay. So it really just depends on your environment and the person, right?
Right. I mean, it's not genetic. Even though
Right.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you grew up in a white neighborhood, for example, you're more likely to act more white than you are, you know, than someone who grew up in a black neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Don't say more white. I don't like when people say that. Just say, don't say that. I don't, it just
What's
sounds
that?
like you say more. What is more white? What does that mean?
Oh well, when I all right, maybe I should be more specific. You might act more maybe like the same kind of music, the same kind of activities. So that's what I meant. I didn't mean
Right.
even talk more like them. Like just different. Because people who live up north versus those who live down south, no matter if you're white or black, you will sound different.
Yeah.
So you are a result of your environment, essentially.
Yeah, true. So you've had a lot of experience with like dating black women, with careers, because a lot of, you know, you were the one we called on the phone, Mr. High Value Man, and you have a lot of experience dating black women in careers. So how do you handle dating a black woman in a career?
I mean, it'll be the same way I'll date, white woman in a career or an Indian woman in a
But
career.
not
No,
not so much like the race part of it, but just a woman in general. Because some men feel like if a woman has her own career, like she's high up, like maybe she's a VP, right? She has
right.
she has a problem balancing really her relationship and her career. It's like she's not going to be submissive because she's in her high paying job. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but that applies to every race, right? It's not just black women. Because you asked me about black women in career. Are you asking based on my experience with black women in their career?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. I really haven't had any problem with that. As a matter of fact, they've been more. This is my experience. Um, they've been more. I don't want to say submissive, but more. Not making it. Your perception is that they tend to be very independent, and might not maybe treat you the way you would want a housewife to treat you. But I didn't get that from them. Like I said, they were just as good as someone who didn't have a high paying job.
Okay. So you're saying
Yeah, I didn't have that experience of maybe neglect, or I don't like to use the word submissive because it's has certain characteristics to it. So I'll say that there was really no difference between dating someone who had maybe a lower paying job and someone who had a high paying job. This is my experience so
okay.
far.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you think there's no difference dating a woman who has a high paying job versus a woman who doesn't? That's what you're saying.
I haven't noticed any particular difference. It's been about the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
about the same.
Okay.
That's my experience.
Yeah, that's
So
your experience. Okay.
obviously, yeah.
Good. So let me ask you this. Do you know who Jeannie Mai is? And Jeezy? I
No.
mean, you know Jeezy, right? The
Oh,
rapper.
Jeezy. Yeah.
So
Right.
he's engaged or married to Jeannie Mai. She's a talk show host on a show called The Real. But
Right.
she came out and said that she's gonna be submissive to Jeezy going into their marriage. And
Right.
everybody's like singing their praises about this as if it's like something new.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, nothing's wrong with it at all.
Hmm.
But like people are praising this because she's Asian and she said this and she's married to Jeezy who's black. But black women can be submissive, right? Black women will be submissive to a man who's worth submitting to. And it seems like Jeezy is treating her like a queen. So that's probably why she's so willing to submit. you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as they're both, no one is being forced to submit to the other. It's voluntary.
What do you mean?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Because typically the man expects the woman to submit to him, right? That's typically
Mm. No, that's not the case.
No.
I
Okay.
mean, at least I'm speaking from my perspective.
Yeah.
Why would now, you know, in some religions that's the case.
Okay.
I'm not religious, so there's a duty for um, the the wife is meant to be submissive.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to this guy the other day who said, he's Muslim. He said, the wife is simply there to pleasure the man. That's her job in the relationship.
Yeah.
So, and the woman that was interviewing him agreed with him because he was being interviewed by a woman about some of the practices in Islam and how the role of a woman. So as long as the woman uh, is in that kind of environment where you know um, she's essentially been forced to by her religion, I really don't have anything to say about that. But I, I wouldn't want a woman to be absolutely submissive to me. I want someone I can have a conversation with, who can stand up to me when I, need
Yeah.
to be stood up to. I want a woman who I can trust to, you know,
Like
say something happens
bit of,
to me.
you don't
Who can take the things. Right.
you don't mind a little bit of combativeness, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's healthy to have a few, I mean, it's typically when you hear about, oh, they were the perfect couple, then typically it ends up in tragedy
Right.
many times
True.
because one person is suppressing a whole lot,
Yeah.
and
Right. That's
it's
true.
not healthy. Yeah.
True. Yeah. So let me ask you this, TJ. So like, black women will catch heat for wearing weave. What do you think about black women wearing weave? And
Uh,
do you think black women should wear their natural hair more?
I mean, my preference, because I can't say what black women should do. I can only speak, you know, uh, to myself.
Yeah.
I prefer white women in their natural hair, just like I prefer black women in their natural hair as well. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with the weave, but
As long as
that's
you
just my
keep it up,
preference.
right?
Right. I mean, some men like weave. For example, like my brother does. He likes a woman with the long straight hair. I personally prefer a woman to kind of carry her natural hair because, um, you know, black women are beautiful with their curly hair.
But
Indians are pretty.
well,
Indians are pretty with their straight hair. White women are pretty with their straight hair. It's to me, whatever you come with, you should try to,
embrace it. Yeah, I agree. But
yeah,
another
work
thing
with
is though, TJ, society, looks at straighter hair as being more accepted.
right. But you see, I'm speaking for myself. So,
Oh yeah.
if society, everyone has a preference, just like
Yeah.
society says, women should be slim, but some guys like women who are, obese. It's all a personal preference.
Yeah,
Some
it is.
people like lighter skinned women, some people like darker skinned women, some people like, it's all for me. Whatever you are, what I find unattractive is when you go um, through a lot to try to change, what you look like. For example, let's say, you know, um, the the white woman who darkened her skin to pretend like she was black, or the black woman who bleached her skin to be more,
Like,
white.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about because it's
It's
you are who you are,
happy with what God gave you. Yeah, absolutely.
right? Now, there's some cases where maybe you have as a girl who was in a car accident and she burns, and so she has to,
Yeah,
make
yeah,
some changes. That's fine, but
yeah.
because you feel like maybe you're too dark, you try to alter your skin color. I think it's
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
So let me ask you this. Travis, do you know who Travis Scott is? He's a
yeah,
rapper. Yeah.
right.
So he recently came out and he was like, he's going to teach his black daughter how to be strong and independent and to do anything a man can do. And some people got upset at that. Why do you
Well,
think people would get upset at that? Well, first of all, some people were like, you don't have a black daughter. Your daughter's not really black. She's mixed. Okay, that's number one. And then they were like, she's growing up with famous parents, so she's not gonna have some of the same issues, some of the same struggles that true black women have. What do you think about that?
well, I think she's lucky because she gets to experience both worlds.
Oh no, TJ, your volume.
Uh,
There you go.
all right, hang on a moment. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that puts her in a very, you know, she gets to experience both cultures
Mm-hmm.
without having to leave the house. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually envious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you think
I
that?
mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, people can say what they want to say anyway.
Uh oh, lost your volume again.
Um, you'll never leave the house.
Uh-huh. But what do you think about him saying you can do anything a man can do? Because I know.
I,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I don't think he meant that literally in the sense that okay, well, you know, there are going to be things men can do that women can't do, right?
Right.
You know, but I think he probably meant, you know, mentally, and you know, it was more metaphorically than, you know,
Yeah, he
you
probably
know,
think
actually.
that he wants to teach her how to value herself, right? Like,
Um, I mean, could be that. I mean, it could be, you know, women have always been, you know, have always kind of been second class. You know, you know, people tend to value men more. We still don't have a female president, for example, because some women, men don't even believe women can lead.
right,
Um,
right.
so it's a good thing what he's doing. You know, is trying to make her realize that, you know, women can essentially, I mean, become president, can be a CEO of a company, and
Yeah,
you know, do whatever she chooses to. Right?
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. People can, you know, obsess all they want, but that's the right thing to do. I mean, you shouldn't teach your daughter to be or train her to be a second class citizen.
Right, absolutely. So, TJ, you're from Nigeria. So you say that there's not really a difference dating Black American women versus Black Nigerian women, right? Well, there is a cultural difference, kind of, but
Absolutely.
yeah. But as far as like what is the differences, you know, dating us versus the women from Nigeria?
Um, like you said, it's mostly cultural,
Okay.
and depending on you know, for example, someone who's maybe been here since they were young, there's hardly any difference. Um, Someone who came here maybe a couple of years ago, there is going to be a difference because you know, they tend to be more conservative. Although now with you know, social media, people are, I mean, you'll be surprised. You know, people are, you know, tattoos used to be like a taboo before, but now everybody has tats. People, you know, piercings. So
Things are changing a little
um,
bit.
things are changing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, the only thing that could affect to me, affect or you know, cause a difference would be maybe religious. Um,
Like you said in the beginning, they're religious
right.
beliefs. Other than
Yeah, it would be religious because you know they hold certain values. For example, you know, some women believe they should submit, even though they don't want to, but they feel like they have to. But if you're talking of just you know, pound for pound without any religious you know, um, lean on it, uh, it's essentially the same.
Okay.
I mean, I spoke to this guy who, well, we're kind of like family friends. He's he's lived in Europe, lived in Nigeria, lived here for. I mean, he's about 60. He just
Wow.
married this 30-year-old Pakistani woman, and
Okay.
he said he's the happiest he's been his whole life.
Okay.
So I knew his ex-wife; she was Nigerian.
Yeah.
I knew his ex-girlfriend who was Black American, but
Okay.
he said this is the happiest he's been in his whole life. I could see it in him too.
After he dated a Pakistani woman, what is the
No,
difference?
he has married her now.
Yeah.
They're married.
Yeah.
He's 60, she's 30. So he's been married like 3 times. And he says this is the happiest it's been. Obviously, we'll
Did he say
wait and
why? Did he say why? What is the difference?
see. I, I think he said that there was some cultural things that made it easier. And I think honestly, what I think it is when you manage, say you marry what people or you get with someone that people expect you to get with, um, simply for that reason, without actually exploring what you actually want,
Mm-hmm.
you find yourself in a position where you're not happy. And
Yeah.
he was, because he's Black, he figured, gotta get a Black woman.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once he explored, then he realized what he really wanted was not what he's been having. I'm not saying he necessarily wanted someone who was Pakistani, but once he kind of broadened his scope, he found what he wanted.
Okay. So it sounds like he found love better with a Pakistani woman and not a Black woman.
Right. I mean, maybe like I said, maybe he met he didn't meet the right Black woman, but who's to say? Maybe he just does not like Black women. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But for me personally, I think it's um, the first thing to do is to identify what you actually want.
Yeah.
And rather than going for what society says you should have, what you want is what you should go for.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to marry the person.
That's true.
Back in the day where they
I
set up.
promote interracial dating here on my channel, so I don't mind it. So yeah.
I mean, there's nothing
I
wrong with
believe
international.
in that myself.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've been in interracial relationships, and it is, especially in the U.S., it is more difficult because people tend to stare a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what was that?
I said I've experienced that.
Right. I mean, I was actually with I'd say an experience. I was actually with a girl at a bar. She was my girlfriend at the time. She was white, and this guy came up to me. This was shortly after that movie Get Out, and he said he felt compelled.
Oh wow.
He said it. He's like, look, brother, have you seen the movie Get Out?
Oh my God.
I mean, it wasn't a joke. It was actually serious. He actually felt compelled to come and warn me about that movie.
Oh my
So I
God.
can imagine how many relationships got broken up
Because of that, yeah.
because of that.
That is crazy. Well,
So,
TJ, that's all that I have for you today.
okay.
Thank you so much for
been a pleasure.
joining. I appreciate all the insight you brought.
Well,
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.
All right.
Hi guys, don't forget to click that subscribe button. It lets me know you're enjoying the content I'm creating for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.